Welcome back. It is the Flow Friday Sports Show on Flow FM. Sarah McMillan, the president of Gawler and District Softball, is on the line with me now to tell us the latest round of results and have a look at this weekend's upcoming games. Thanks for joining me again, Sarah. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me again.
Pleasure to have you here. Now it's 2 weeks down for the season, 2 weeks into your presidency, and everything seems to be going pretty well. So let's have a look at the latest round of games. It was just the one game in the under-14s on the weekend. The Kangas got a good win over Trinity, 14-6, so nice and high scoring for the Kangas. How did this game go?
Yeah, well, it was a good game, and it was Trinity's first game, and first game of softball for a lot of the girls out there, which was great to see them all out there.
Great stuff. Well, a good effort from Trinity. They didn't get the win. They went down by 8 runs, but to put 6 on the board when you've got a lot of debutants is a pretty good effort, a lot to build on for them there.
Yes, I thought it was a great effort by the whole team. A bit noticeable with the under-14s Kangas. They are on the higher spectrum of the age group, which is starting to show a dominance over the other teams.
Okay, so we'll keep an eye on the Kangas. They may be the team to beat in the under-14s. So a very good effort by Trinity there, and we'll be keeping an eye on them as well. I'm sure there'll be a lot of improvement from them as the year goes on with so many fresh faces. And it was a week off for the under-17s, no games in that age group. So let's look ahead to the seniors, and we'll start off with the Div 2s. And it was another win for the Kangas in the Div 2s. They beat the Blue Jays 14-7.
Yes, they seems to be one of the stronger teams, looking like one of them to beat in Div 2. Blue Jays have got a very fresh team in Div 2. I mean, the Div 1 is the premiers, but the Div 2 team are all fresh and new, and it's great to see up-and-coming players right through the whole club.
Very good. So much like Trinity in the under-14s with a lot of new players, I'm sure there'll be some chemistry building and the skills will get sharper as the season goes on. So we'll be keeping an eye on them as well. Our other game in the Div 2s, Vikings with a good win over Two Wells, held them to 0. They won that one 8-0. So unfortunate for Two Wells to not put any runs on the board, but a dominant performance from the Vikings in the Div 2.
Yes, Vikings seem like a strong side. That's the first time we've seen them out there, the Div 2s. And Two Wells struggled a little bit with a couple of injuries, but fingers crossed they'll be coming back strong. So both teams should be quite competitive, but I think Vikings are also one to watch.
Okay, so we're starting to see a bit of separation with some teams flexing their muscles a bit more than others, and we're starting to figure out who might be some of the dominant teams as the season goes on, but it's a long season. Let's have a look at the Div 1s, and the Kangas couldn't quite make it 3 from 3 on the day, but they were very close. They had a draw with the Blue Jays, 6 apiece.
Yes, our first draw for the season, and it's just a very good game to watch, and yeah, whole playing all round. Some very good base running by Blue Jays and some very strong fielding by Kangas, sort of holding them at an even pace all the way through.
Okay, so a good performance there from both teams, and there's no extra innings or anything like that. Golden run to score a winner. We're settling for a draw.
Yes, a draw is a result. We play out to a result, and yeah, at this stage of the game, a draw is a result.
All right, I must be honest, Sarah, I'm not a big fan of the draw. I like seeing a winner, but for community sport on the weekend, I don't mind a draw because, let's be honest, sometimes you just want to get off the park and have a drink and, kick back and pretty happy to celebrate a draw most of the time. So a good effort there by both teams. And our last game of the weekend, it was the Vikings with another win. They won in the Div 2s and they won in the Div 1s as well over Two Wells, but a little bit closer this one, 6-2.
Yes, a lot closer this week than last week's game. It felt like they were very confident from last week's win, but yeah, I think they were knocked back a little bit by only getting 6 runs on the board. Two Wells held their game the whole way through, strong fielding and holding them down to 6, but also not being able to get those runs on the board early and finishing up with a couple of runs in the last innings.
All right, so well done to all the winners from the weekend that was. And let's have a look ahead to this weekend's games, starting off with the juniors. In the under-14s, it is the Giants taking on Trinity, and Trinity had that loss to the Kangas in their debut game on the weekend just gone, so you'd expect they'll have a little bit more spring in their step now that they're a couple of weeks into the season.
Yeah, so hopefully a little bit of team melding and they get to see how the game's all played out. And it's very difficult when you're first timers. That first week out in the diamond, yes, you've all learned how to do it, but to actually put it into practice, it's a big deal. This week, I'd say with a little bit more confidence, even with a loss. They've seen the game and know what they're doing coming ahead. Giants, they haven't been out there this season yet, but yeah, they should be coming out pretty strong. But I think they're also on the little bit of the younger age of the under 14, so I think that'll be a good game as well.
All right, looking forward to seeing who takes the chocolates in that one. Good for the Giants to get their first game on the park. And the under-17s are back in action this weekend after a weekend off, and it's the same matchup, the Giants taking on Trinity.
Yes, this will be a good game. So they're both, I think Giants are in a higher age bracket as well, and they're a little bit of experience behind them, so it should be a good game to watch. And I'm looking forward to that game, actually. I'm going to make myself get out there at 11:30 to see the game.
All right, very good. No pressure on the under-17s with the league president watching over, but no, that will be great. I'm sure you'll enjoy that one. I'm sure that one will be played at a high quality, and some of those older players, I'm sure they'll be eyeing off a spot in the seniors soon, and the Giants are in action in the Div 2s in the seniors. They're taking on Two Wells this weekend.
Yes, Two Wells are looking forward to their Giants game. Haven't seen them in action yet, so this is our first time this season to see them. And we're just going to take each one as it comes and just to check them all out.
That's it. Take it 1 week at a time. We'll see how the Giants go in their first outing. Two Wells, well, they came off that 8-0 loss to the Vikings last weekend, so we'll see if they can put their first run for the season on the board. And in our other game in the Div 2s, Vikings taking on the Blue Jays. So the Vikings had that win over Two Wells. Blue Jays coming in off a loss to the Kangas. So this one should be interesting.
Yes, should be interesting. I'd like to see the Vikings out there again to see if they hold their game in the same standard as last week. And Blue Jays with a number of new ones. I'd like to see if they're sort of coming together as a team and see how they play that out.
Okay, and the Vikings are also taking on the Blue Jays in the Div 1s, and the Vikings coming off a win in the Div 1s as well as the Div 2s, and the Blue Jays coming off that draw with the Kangas. So again, this one should be interesting. Vikings will be looking to make it a couple of wins on the trot.
Yeah, so see if they can hit 3 in a row. But Blue Jays won't be an easy target, so Blue Jays will hold their game very tight, I think. They're strong and they're persistent all the way through, so be an interesting game to watch. Actually, I think that would be the game of the week, that one, Vikings versus Blue Jays. All
right, the call is in. Match of the round is Vikings versus Blue Jays, and that just leaves us with one more to go through, and it is Two Wells taking on the Kangas.
Yes, I don't know what to say about this game. They're all kind of old rivals. I think they're not evenly matched, but they got strengths in different points. So it should be, it's really hard to call on this game at all together. I think that'll be a good game, and I'll just have to wait and see on the results on that one.
All right, rivalry game. So that will be exciting, and looking forward to seeing who gets up in that one. But that is the action for the weekend ahead. A lot of good games on the agenda in Gawler and District Softball. And Sarah, just before we wrap up, there's a bit of news in the league as well. You're in the middle of constructing a new diamond to play on, and that's not too far away from being ready to go and ready to, for all the teams to start playing on.
Yes, I've got my fingers crossed for the 6th of December for our first game on the new diamond. We should have beautiful grass and we've got big fences and spectator areas and close to the canteen, and it'd be great just to have a permanent diamond just so we know where we're at every week. Yeah, looking forward to a great ground.
All right, very good. Well, just 1 month away. So that's something certainly to look forward to, and a lot of good games to look forward to this weekend. Sarah, thank you for that update. Enjoy the action. All the best to you this weekend, and I'm looking forward to checking in again next week.
Thank you very much. You have a good week too.